Hey crypto friends, for those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Garrett and welcome to Altcoin Radar. Today guys, I am going to show you guys how I personally trade Bitcoin futures and how I figure out where I'm going to make my entries, how I'm going to set my stop losses, how I set my exit points, all kinds of good things. I'm literally going to show you the exact way that I do things, okay? Because I've been getting a lot of people that have been asking me about this, so I am going to finally do it, okay? Now I'm not going to be making any live trades because I don't want to be responsible for anybody losing money or anything like that. So that's kind of, I'm not the type of person that wants to take on that kind of risk. So it's just something that I just personally don't want to do. So, but you're going to see exactly how I do things here. So, and guys, before we actually do get started, for those of you who are new to my channel, if you would like to go ahead and try the same crypto exchange that I use on a regular basis, feel free to go ahead and try the MEXC crypto exchange, okay? You can find a link to it in the description below this video. I personally love it because I love trading all kinds of different altcoins, and they have over 1,500 different altcoins to trade at any given moment, you guys, especially when I'm buying and holding different altcoins for the long term. I talk a lot about how I love to buy small cap altcoins because small cap altcoins usually like to do 50 to 100x from time to time. So, hey, MEXC has all of those, you guys. So again, if you want to go ahead and give it a try, there's a link in the video description down below. All right, guys, so as far as me trading Bitcoin futures, so there's a couple things I want to talk about first before I actually get into the charts and actually talk about how I do things, okay? So the thing here is, you guys, is I don't actually trade all the time, okay? And the simple reason why is because between my full-time job and making content for the channel, I just simply don't have a lot of time to be staring at charts all day long like, traditional day traders do. So guys, when I trade, it's usually the larger swing moves. It's usually the larger swing trades on the 1 day and 4 hour charts, okay? These are the types of trades that usually play out within a matter of like 24 to maybe, usually within, 1 day to maybe 7 days, maybe even 10 days, somewhere around there. So, but realistically here, you guys, I go after the longer term trades, okay? Again, simply because I just simply don't have the time for, day trading and staring at charts regularly, all right? So guys, the very first thing that I do, okay, the absolute very first thing that I do when I am about to, open up my charts and, start to look into, where I want to buy and stuff like that, the very first thing I do when I'm looking for a good setup is to go to the 1 day chart, and I find all of my trend lines and my support and resistance areas, okay? So as you guys can clearly see here, you guys, I've got all of my trend lines in place. We're looking at the 1 day Bitcoin chart like I explained. I've got my major trend line here, the trend line that we've been following ever since we were at 69,000 all the way at the top. So I got my major trend line going all the way down here, all right? And then in the current area that we're trading in, I also have my other trend lines right here, which is typically, as you guys can clearly see, it is a descending triangle, okay? So that is currently what I am basing my current trades off of right now, all right? So as we can clearly see, you guys, that is, that's pretty much how it works out. And as you guys can see, my purple lines are support and resistance areas, okay? Obviously, this would be my support area. This is another layer of support. These are typically, and then in between we've got our chop zones. Again, we've got our support and resistance areas, and then these little lines are little micro areas of support as well. So keep that in mind also, you guys. So these are typically the very first things I do before I even start to look at numbers, okay? It's very important to be able to find these types of levels so that you can have a better basis or a better idea of where the price could potentially go, okay? Now, again, you guys, as you guys can clearly see, I am not using RSI or MACD anymore, okay? And that's simply because I don't need to use them anymore. If you have been watching my videos in the past, you know that I have always used RSI and MACD in the past. I'm no longer using them. I'm simply using just support and resistance, and that's pretty much it. With other things too, I sometimes, a lot of times I like to use Fibonacci as well. So, and you'll see that in this later on in this video. So, overall here, you guys, once I have all of my trend lines and my support and resistance levels all mapped out, then I'll typically use the Fibonacci tool in confluence with, the support and resistance levels that I mapped out, and I'll try to figure out, exactly where I personally think the market will go within the next 1 to 7 days, or maybe 1 to 10 days or whatever. So guys, in addition to that, once I find which direction that I think the market will go, then that's when I start to look for a good number to set my entry order based on all of these different, little indicators I'm using. Fibonacci, support and resistance, trend lines, all these little things, okay? And then I'll be able to figure out from there, what I'm going to potentially set my stop loss at as well. So overall here, you guys, there's really not much to it with the way that I trade, okay? But now I'm going to actually show you what I do, okay? So we're going to actually dive in here, all right? So as you guys can clearly see, I got my support and resistance lines. I've got my trend lines here. Clearly you can see that this is a descending triangle, which if you aren't familiar with a descending triangle, it is typically a bearish chart pattern. So typically in descending triangles, usually what happens is the price ends up falling below the level of support in the triangle, and it eventually takes a pretty big fall. And that's usually what happens with descending triangles, you guys, as you guys can clearly see it here. And if you aren't familiar with descending triangles or chart patterns in general, keep in mind, you guys, probably about a week or so, I will be doing 10 straight days, meaning 10 straight days and 10 straight videos of nothing but chart patterns, teaching you guys exactly how chart patterns work and showing you all kinds of different chart patterns, mainly the most popular chart patterns out there. But anyway, regardless, so as you guys can clearly see here, I've got all of my support and resistance lines mapped out. My trend lines, everything's good to go. Now I need to figure out where I think the price is going to go, okay? And this will determine if I'm going to go long or short, okay? And that's the other thing here, you guys. I am trading the futures market, okay? The Bitcoin futures market. I'm not trading the spot market, okay? So this might be a little bit different if you're trading the spot market, but nonetheless, you guys, I'm trading the futures market. So I'm looking to either short it or go long, okay? So obviously, you guys, since we are in a descending triangle, that tells me that I'm probably most likely going to be looking for a short position here, okay? Because I am betting and I'm thinking that it is going to drop, okay? Now, where do I think it's going to drop? Well, here's the thing, you guys. I'm going to base that off of my support and resistance levels. So clearly, you guys, we can see here that the level of support for the descending triangle is at this yellow line, okay? As we can clearly see, it's touching two different points that it's already touched already. And if it drops below here, then it's probably more than likely going to drop very far or pretty far, or it's going to do another drop, just like it did right up in here, okay? So keep that in mind, you guys. And the other thing here, you guys, is that's not the only line that you want to be looking at, or that's not the only line that I'm looking at, okay? I'm also looking at this layer right here as well, okay? I'm looking at this layer because this isn't too much of an important layer, as in my personal opinion. I'm more or less concerned about the bottom of this descending triangle right here. So realistically here, you guys, what I will end up doing is I think right around here, or at the bottom of this support level at this descending triangle, I think that is going to be a solid spot for me to set a buy order, or for me to, open a short position, because I think that if it breaks that, it's going to drop. I really do think that, okay? So realistically, that's typically how I go about figuring out where it's going to drop. I mean, simply because 9 times out of 10, you guys, with a descending triangle, when it hits that support line or when it goes past that support line, it's going to keep dropping, okay? Usually that's 9 times out of 10, that's usually what happens, okay? And since it is a key layer of support right there, then there we go. You've got even more confluence right there, you guys. So in addition to that, you guys, let's see here. So basically, I would be setting my buy order, or sorry, not my buy order, my entry order for my short position roughly right around like $18,245, or I'll go a little bit underneath it just in case. Like literally, I will do it as a just in case type measure. And maybe I'll go with like 18,100 instead. Okay. And again, you guys, I do this just to be conservative. Okay. So I will literally place it right underneath here. Therefore, if it does break it, it will continue to drop further. Okay. And that's the key thing here, you guys, is you want to be able to catch it. You want to be able to catch it. You want your order to be able to catch it as it's going down. Okay. Now, again, you guys, realistically, some types of people, here's the thing. You don't have to do it this way. I like to do it this way because, again, I'm not at my computer at all times. I'm not watching the chart at all times. If you're able to watch charts at all times, hey, feel free, if you feel comfortable buying in if you feel comfortable buying in before it hits the support level or right at the support level, hey, go right ahead and buy right there if you want to, okay? But since I usually don't have time, I will place it right after it, okay? Because if it goes through and it goes after it, then it's going to continue to go and drop even further. So keep that in mind, all right? Now here's the thing, all right? If it goes past this support layer, which is clearly the bottom right here, this is the bottom of this support right here. If it breaks through that, oh boy, that's pretty much a guaranteed confirmation that it is going to drop even further, okay? That, you could set a place, honestly, you're more safe placing your buy order or your entry order for a short position at this level, at this layer, than you are at this layer, okay? If it breaks through here, that's typically like the first confirmation. If it breaks through here, or if it comes close to here, that's pretty much your second confirmation, and you can be guaranteed that it's going to drop even more from there, okay? But realistically, you guys, I'm going based off of the descending triangle here that we've been following for quite a while here. So I will place my order right around here, which would be right around maybe 18,165, okay? So I'm going to go here to my dummy account and show you how I do this, okay? So I've, as you guys can see, I'm a baller. I've got, $3 here, and I am going to go ahead and I'm going to place a buy order at, oh geez, I'm not going to go 25x. Actually, you know what? Maybe I will, okay? Maybe I will. I'm feeling pretty ballsy today, so yeah, I'll go 25x just for fun, all right? So realistically, and plus it's just a play account anyway, so all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to place the slider all the way because I want to use 100% of my 299, and I'm going to place it at 25x leverage. And what I'm going to do, you guys, is I am going to, wait a second, what is going on here? Let's see here. Take profit, stop loss. Okay, so what I will end up doing is we don't want a market order. That's where my issue is right here. We don't want a market order. We don't want a limit order. We want a trigger limit order because we want it to catch at that certain level, okay? Because we want it to catch right where I think it's going to drop. And if I think, obviously if it drops past this support layer right here at 18,000, roughly 18,325, 18,285, I'll place it at 18,175, okay? So I will literally place this at 18,175, 18,175, okay? So we'll place it at 18,175. And for the price for USDT, since we are trading against USDT, obviously I will put in 18,175 again. And for the quantity, we will move the slider all the way to the far right, and I will open my short order, okay? Or if I want to take it a step further, no, I won't do that. So I will click open short, okay? So I will open my short. My short order position was successful. You can see it down here in the open orders. It is now an open order, and it is a trigger order, and it is going to enter me in at 25x leverage when it when it meets $18,175. Okay, so there you go, you guys. That is simply how I go about finding where I'm going to find my entries. Okay, it's literally as simple as that. Now I'll just simply wait. Okay, and if it continues to drop, I mean, I'll look at it from time to time throughout the days ahead, and if it continues to keep dropping slowly and slowly and slowly towards my buy-in price of 18,175, then hey, then I'm getting all giddy and excited, okay? I mean, because I'm about to be entered into a potential position that's going to drop and make me some pretty darn good money, okay? So, and then what I will do, you guys, is simply here, this is what I'll do next, is I'll simply try to figure out what I think it's going to do or how far it could potentially go. So here's the thing, you guys. I will literally take a line here, and I will literally just make it as long as one of these really big lines. I typically go after the biggest line that there is in the most previous leg that it went down, and I will find it and I will literally place it here, and I will go all the way down to the end of it, and there we go. So we've got the line of how far it could potentially go. Let me go ahead and make that a color I don't have already. I don't know, we'll make it like, oh my god, it's a color. Why am I like freaking out over a color? Okay, it's blue. Okay, so there we go. And I will put it right down here, right at this level. So obviously, you guys, if it drops that same amount, if it drops that little bit of an amount, You know, if it drops that little bit of amount, we could see prices of around like $12,685 or somewhere around there, which if I catch it right here, you guys, and I ride it all the way to the bottom, think about that, you guys. That is a solid 29% gain, okay? But it's not going to be a 29% gain, okay? Because I'm using 25x leverage. So it's going to be whatever 29 multiplied by 25 is. I don't know what that number is, but it's going to be about that amount, you guys. And that's going to be the percentage that I'm going to make off of that trade. So that is simply how I go about doing things, you guys. It is super easy. I shouldn't say it's super easy, actually. That's kind of that's kind of an not an understatement. That's kind of a, can't think of the word, but that's not right. I shouldn't say that. It's not that easy, okay? It's easy to me because I know what I'm looking at. And here's the thing, you guys. It is not guaranteed. Like I said, this thing could shoot upwards, and it could shoot upwards, and it could break this, you know, resistance line instead, and it could shoot northwards instead. I mean, it technically, you guys, it realistically could. It's very rare that that's going to happen, but I mean, it is a possibility, okay? So that's the other thing you have to keep in mind here too, you guys. So what I'm talking about here, you guys, it is not guaranteed, and that's why I don't just go ahead and just buy in like right now, okay? That's why I wait for confirmation in order before I end up buying and stuff like that. So as you guys can see, you guys, I have got my order placed. It's going to trigger when it hits 18,175, and I mean, hey, we'll see what happens. Now, at the time that you guys see this video, this is gonna have all this would have already happened, okay? So keep that in mind as well, because I usually film my videos about 2 or 3 weeks in advance, so keep that in mind also, you guys. But realistically here, you guys, there's really not much else to it. That's pretty much how I go about finding my entry points, as far as, you know, trading with support and resistance and trend lines, and that's pretty much it, you guys. So other than that, you guys, that's really, I feel like, all I need to cover here. I mean, there's really not much else to it, but if you guys have any questions or concerns or anything like that about anything that I just talked about, hey, I started this channel so that I could help people out, okay? So feel free to reach out to me on Twitter. I love helping people. If you got questions, concerns, again, feel free to reach out. I do not care. I'm not a rude person. I love to help people, so feel free, okay? Other than that, you guys, overall here, I feel like that pretty much does it for this video, so I'll go ahead and wrap this one up. But again, guys, hey, before you guys leave, go ahead and make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a new crypto and altcoin video from me on a regular basis. And hey, guys, with that said, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the comment section of my future videos.